guys, and welcome back to another episode of our Pokemon Battle Series, the School of Hard Knocks. So throughout this episode, like every other, we'll be jumping on to the Pokemon Global Link Battle Spot ladder, playing under the Championship Battle rules, which are the equivalent rule set of the VGC 2018 season, until we get Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon in like 2 and a bit weeks time, which is pretty exciting. So we kicked off the week again this week with this Whimsicott team. It's been doing pretty well. We had that bit of a hiccup on the first episode, the last game on Monday, where we just hadn't EV'd our Marowak quite correctly. So I didn't mention yesterday, but I did re-EV it yesterday just to make sure that we weren't missing out on those KOs, because it was nothing to do with how we kind of played the game. We got down to a good end game, got ourselves into a position where we could take the game, and it was just down to our EV. So that's a good lesson to take forward, to make sure, you know, the big threats that you want to be picking KOs on, you are picking the KOs up on those things. So we have changed that, changed nothing else so far. But as always, do keep your comments coming in about the team. Let me know what your thoughts are, and everything and anything to do with the battles. And we'll go into today's episode, and hopefully it's a good one. So, like I mentioned in yesterday's episode, we've only got a couple of weeks now left before Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon drop. So we've only got a couple of weeks of playing teams. I just want to keep, and I know I've said this like every day, but I just want to reiterate the point of, if there's anything specifically that you want to see played in the last couple of weeks, let me know. I do, and I keep saying that I want to play the Extreme Evo Boost team in the very last week before we go into Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I think that would be a lot of fun. But before that, I do want to feature maybe something else. I think we could play this team for another week, change some things up. But I think on a whole, it would be better to maybe play something else. Like I mentioned yesterday, Johnny has made that great suggestion about that Dragon Dance Salamence team, and there's been other suggestions as well. So do keep them coming, guys, and we will make a consensus decision on at the end of the week and decide what we're going to play going into next week. But we have our first opponent of the day, Make My Day VGC. What a great username, and a really cool looking team with Smeagol, Xurkitree, Tapu Bulu, Garchomp, Arcanine and Salamence. So we got this double dragon combination there, an old VGC favourite combination of Garchomp and Salamence there. We've got the Arcanine, so double Intimidate with the Salamence. We've got the Tapu Bulu with the grassy terrain protecting the Arcanine and the Xurkitree, and then we've got the infamous annoying Smeagol. It's up to no good, causing so much really great support for my opponent and a lot of issues for ourselves. So what do we want to do here? Whimsicott's not bad. It gives us Tailwind support, Taunt support, especially against for that Smeagol as well. Issue is we haven't got Protect on the Whimsicott, which could be a little bit of a pain. And I think we might have to bluff a little bit of our Marowak Lightning Rod here against that Xurkitree. But I think we're going to have to really take advantage of our Tailwind here. Let's go Coco, Finny, and Crocodile. Let's go with those 4. Kind of had to rush it at the end because I've just yammered on so much in that team preview. But I don't want us going into that and locking out and missing something. So maybe Crocodile or Marowak. I think for the Crocodile might have been an option there. Also Celesteela could have been quite good, but the Xurkitree does cause us a lot of problems. Now we do see Xurkitree come out for my opponent with that Smeagol. Now we do get the electric terrain up, which is going to benefit the Xurkitree more than anything. So I think, what do we do? I think we go for... I kind of want to taunt... I think we taunt the Xurkitree and go for a Dazzling Gleam, because there's every likelihood we might see a Follow Me come out from this Smeagol. Just a Fake Out into the Whimsicott. And what we're going to see from the Xurkitree, probably a Tail Glow. So we get some decent damage onto the Smeagol. Ooh, Substitute from the Xurkitree, which is kind of better than... I kind of prefer that to Tail Glow at this point. And I think my opponent probably doesn't want to go for the Tail Claw, just because of the threat maybe of the Encore here. Let's go Moonblast and Dazzling Gleam again. So Moonblast into the Xurkitree, potentially break this up, and if the Smeagol goes for a follow me, then, you know, we'll pick the K up there with the Moonblast. Dazzling Gleam will break the sub on the Circuitry and kind of set it up for that next turn. And hopefully we don't lose a Whimsicott, because it would be handy to set up a Tailwind before it goes down, but kind of really need to get rid of the Smeagol before we do anything else, I feel, at this point. So, oh dear, Wide Guard. Okay. That's a bit awkward. So Dazzling Gleam going to get blocked here. We are going to get a Moonblast off into the Circuitry, which should break the substitute. But it does leave it open to allow it to just fire off an attack. You know, Dazzling Gleam coming back. Both Pokemon should take this, yeah. And Moody firing off again. So, do we see? You know, I wonder if my opponent goes for another Wide Guard here. I kind of feel like they don't go for the Wide Guard because they feel like I'm not going to go Dazzling Gleam, and it makes me want to Dazzling Gleam here just to kind of call their bluff. So yeah, there's the follow me, so we called it right. Tapu Koko is going to get the Dazzling Gleam off first, which will pick up the KO on the Smeagol, and then we get the KO on both things with Dazzling Gleam, so that is fine. I don't know why I kind of adopted a little bit of a lisp there, Dazzling Gleam. But there we go. That must be the Life Orb effect on me. But yeah, so that's great. We take down both threats there pretty easily. We've not lost too much resource, and we've still got access to our Tailwind, which is the big thing. So we see Garchomp come out with that Arcanine. So, we've got to be a little bit aware of extreme speed coming out from that Arcanine, but I don't think Whimsicott's in. I think we should take an extreme speed from this range. I want a Tailwind regardless, because I think like Wimmy is going to go down, and if we can get Crocodile in, it's going to put a lot of pressure onto that Arcanine, potentially threaten the KO there. Do we just Dazzle here with Koko and maybe let it go down? Because if the Garchomp goes for a Sword Stance here, we kind of punish that by dazzling into it at the same time. So Garchomp just protecting here. That's fine. So we'll probably lose. I mean, what will we lose here? Koko maybe? It's probably the bigger threat at this point in time for the Garchomp. So the Arcanine probably does target into that Koko. We do get a bit of chip off onto it. An Arcanine going for a Snarl. Okay. So that's not bad at all. But I mean, one thing I can do now is just go for a taunt into the Garchomp slot, just to stop any potential. I mean, I could just Moonblast into it, to be honest, as well. We've got the Tailwind up, so we could just Moonblast Dazzling Gleam. It's probably not going to pick up the KO, but it'll be, well, it might even, because Moonblast generally does about 75% extreme speed coming out onto Koko, so we will lose Koko here. The issue was, though, is like, okay, so we still get decent damage onto it. Yeah, this was the problem, and I didn't want to switch anything in on a Tectonic Rage, so it's better kind of losing both Pokemon here, especially with what we've got in the back. We can bring in Crocodile the next turn, and we've got Finny as well, so both put a lot of pressure onto both these opposing targets. But I think we still might have been better off going for a taunt into that Garchomp, because then it takes out the equation any possibility of Swords Dancing and things like that. But you've got to imagine that the Garchomp's probably in Moonblast range now. So we do get Krook and get that Intimidate off, which is pretty important for us. And the Misty Terrain up as well. How many turns of Tailwind? We've got 2. I think we should be fine. So we can just go Moonblast. And, do we go Tech Rage here or not? It just makes it a little bit awkward if we... Oh, I guess we do, because we don't want to risk getting snarled from the Arcanine. Garchomp protecting, so it's likely that the Arcanine maybe doesn't. Arcanine does. At least we'll get some damage onto it with the Tech Rage. And we've still got access to Muddy Water. And we can just crunch Muddy Water into the Garchomp the next turn. Or we can even just double into the Garchomp, because at this point the Arcanine's not putting on too much pressure at all to either target. So, yeah. I mean, one play I could do, which would be a little bit cheeky, but would probably be quite good going forward and make sure that we can really clean up, is just Bulldoze. But I don't even think we need to do that, because we can just Moonblast and crunch. Like, a Moonblast is going to take down the Garchomp. And we can just crunch into that slot as well. Just to make sure Garchomp going for it, but doesn't get it. Arcanine getting it though. So crunch not quite enough to pick up the KO onto Garchomp, but we will make sure of it with this Moonblast here, and then we're in a pretty nice position to just pick up the KO onto this Arcanine. So Tailwind Pit is out. But it's not going to really make too much difference at this point. Let's protect Finny and go for an Earthquake. My opponent just forfeits. So, very good game to my opponent, and nice little victory to kick off the episode. So, make my day VGC. Probably one of the cooler, like, little in-game names that I've seen in a while. So, let's move on to our next opponent. Hopefully it doesn't take too long to find them. But the team's performing alright. I think it's a bit, you know, the one thing that I would question a little bit is the Marowak, the decision on the Marowak, the ability. Now, on one hand, I absolutely love having Rockhead, because it just makes the use of Flare Blitz so much better. And I always feel with Marowak, the one big kind of crux with using it is when you Flare Blitz into something like Celesteela and you lose like nearly half your health, and it really puts the use of Marowak out of the game after that and makes it easy for your opponent to kind of target it down and pick up a kill from there. But with the Rockhead, it kind of prevents that. And like I was saying in Monday's episode, even though we haven't got the Lightning Rod, my opponent doesn't know that. And like I say, in a best of one situation, are you really going to risk Thunderbolting when there is potentially a Marowak on the field, or potentially a Marowak switching in? I really don't think you would. I don't think I would. I think I'd be really wary about bringing an electric type user, let alone just firing off some electric type attacks into, you know, certain slots. So I think just on the kind of subconscious level it kind of works, but I don't know whether it would benefit the team a lot more if we did have the Lightning Rod. Also, it kind of, like I was mentioning as well, it kind of works with the Tapu Koko a lot better. You can switch in next to it, not worrying about our electric type attacks not being fired off. And you know, I always fear if I play Tapu Koko and Marowak in the same team that you come down to an end game where your last two Pokemon are Tapu Koko and Marowak, and you've only got access to Thunderbolt, and you need the Thunderbolt to hit the opposing Pokemon, but you can't get it off because you've got a Marowak with Lightning Rod next to you. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. With the Rockhead, you're not even kind of coming across that. So that's something I do like about it as well. But we'll see how it goes. But we've got our next opponent of the day, Stefano from Italy, and he is running a team of Mandibuzz, Kartana, Xurkitree, Alolan Ninetales, Tapu Lele, and Crocodile. So, very interesting kind of take on what Sam Pengelis's Zelda VGC's team was. So you've kind of got the Cortana in there, which is normally the Arcanine, I guess, and then the Crocodile over what would be a Garchomp slot. So we've got the Alolan Ninetales there, that's your Weather Abuser. So, you know, we can bring Whimsicott here and match at least a Tailwind from the Mandibuzz if that leads, or we can get rid of the Hail with Sunny Day if the Ninetales comes out. I think maybe we'd be better off... Do we bring Tapu Koko here for a lead? Because Tapu Koko is quite nice to kind of just get a quick bit of damage off, and if the Lele leads, it'll give us a good indication to know whether it's scarfed or not. I think we definitely bring Finny, and maybe our Celesteela here isn't bad, but also, oh no, let's lock in Celesteela, but I think my opponent's dropped off. I don't think it's us. Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. I was really looking forward to that match. I think that would have been really good. So let us continue battling, and hopefully we bump into someone pretty quickly. I feel really bad for my opponent in that situation. If it was just their internet kind of going down, it's like if you lose connection or something like that, or your battery goes off or something, that's really unfortunate. I wish there was a way for the global link to kind of detect when it's like an unintentional disconnect due to like a Wi-Fi issue or something like that, but I guess it's kind of hard to tell because you could just turn your router off, I guess. But that's not always intentional either. It's I don't know. It'd be cool if there was a way to kind of do it, but I don't know. We've got Jack Bass as our next opponent from Italy, another Italian opponent. This time running another very cool, interesting team of Arcanine, Gigalith, Mandibuzz, Stoutland, Tapu Fini and Tapu Koko. So double Tapus here with the Fini and the Koko kind of matching ours. We've got the Gigalith there to bring the Sand Core. And the Stoutland probably has Sand Rush to kind of abuse that Sandstorm. We've got the Mandibuzz there, which you've got to imagine is probably Misty Seed, if it has a seed at all, providing Tailwind support for the team. And just generally being a nuisance. We've got the Arcanine there for the Intimidate support and the Fire type as well. So Tapu Koko here is going to be incredibly good, and maybe Wimmy here isn't bad either, but I do like Crocodile quite a lot. We just need to be a little bit careful with the Mother Tapu Fini, but Tailwind for ourselves is going to be really strong. We've got to remember that we can't really taunt the Mandibuzz though at all, and one thing we could do is maybe I don't know, let's go Tapu Koko. I think we got Crocodile, and what do we go for as our last one? Do we go maybe Tapu Fini or Celesteela? Let's go Fini. Let's go Fini and lock in. So good luck to my opponent, and let's hope we have a good game. Like Celesteela might have been really good here because I just like Celesteela in general to bring against things like Gigalith. Kind of takes the rock type attacks really well, and you can threaten it with those big heavy slams and just spread leech seeds and stuff like that. But we've decided not to bring it, so hopefully we can get on alright with what we have brought. We do see my opponent lead off with Mandibuzz and Arcanine against Whimsicott and Tapu Koko. So we definitely don't want to set up the Sunny Day in this situation. We might even want to just get Whimsicott out of here. I wonder if we see the Arcanine just switch out for the Fini. So let's go for a Tailwind, just to match any potential Tailwind from the Mandibuzz, and let's go for a Volt Switch as well into that slot. Get some decent damage off onto it and bring in Tapu Fini as well. But we don't see that. We see, Mandibuzz switch out for the Fini, so it's going to take a lot of damage here. Even though it will get up its terrain. But we will get a free Tailwind off, which is pretty nice. Maybe the Arcanine goes for the Flare Blitz into the Whimsicott. Ooh. Scarfed Arcanine. Into Coco. Huh. Okay. And we do get the... Oh, we just hang on. So we get the Volt Switch off into the Finny, which is alright. We do manage to keep a hold of Tapu Koko for the minute. Now, do we bring in Crocodile or do we bring in Finny? I think we bring in Finny, we know. Yeah, we're probably going to see the Arcanine switch out this next turn, you've got to imagine. I mean, one thing we could do is just taunt the Finny to stop any potential, because I don't want to let it just Calm Mind up, and we could go for a Calm Mind ourselves. And like I say, we might just see the Arcanine switch out anyway, so Finny, like Whimsicott could be quite safe. We've got the Sash as well, so it'll be fine. But Finny deciding to withdraw this time. Mandibure's coming back in. So the taunt onto that slot isn't bad at all. We're going to stop it. But it isn't going to work, is it? Because it is the Dark type, so it doesn't work. I have to remember that. So nice play from my opponent there. Just forgetting about that for 1 second. Arcanine probably going to go for that Flare Blitz into the Whimsicott here, but we'll take a heck of a lot of recoil damage in the process. And it does give us the opportunity to potentially double into this Mandibuzz this next turn for the Moonblast and a Muddy Water, because I think we have to go for a Muddy Water here just to make sure that we take down the Arcanine, so we kind of preserve Whimsicott for when our Tailwind does pit her out. At least we'll be able to try and get at least a Tailwind to match the opposing Mandibuzzes as well. But we see Arcanine switch out, we're going to see Tapu Fini come back in, so I think my opponent probably wants us to proc maybe a Berry that is holding here. We're going to get the Moonblast off into the Mandibuzz. It should do decent-ish damage. It's not bad. And Muddy Water does hit both targets, so Finny got his goggles on, and are we going to see a Berry proc on this Finny? No Berry, just a Tailwind. Okay, so that's... I don't mind that. But our Tailwind hasn't quite pitted out yet. So we could probably pick up a KO onto the Tapu Fini here and go for a move. Or do we just Moonblast, double Moonblast the Mandibuzz here, because we probably pick up the KO onto it. Yeah, I want to double into this Mandibuzz. I just want to get rid of it as soon as possible. Yeah, so we will get rid of it. Problem is that our Tailwind ends now. And if we lose Wimmy here, which we most likely will, Dazzling Gleam, yeah. So is this Choice Specs, Finny? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is. And a Tailwind does pit her out. Okay. Let's bring in Crocodile. Because this Scarfed Arcanine... Oh, it's Stoutland, okay. But you've just got to think that this Scarfed Arcanine probably will have access to a Wild Charge. And we want to keep our Crocodile around for as long as possible. So let's just protect Krook here and go for... I think our Tapu Fini's pretty safe. Especially getting the Intimidate off into the Stoutland, unless we see some sort of crazy breakneck blitz into our Finny here, which wouldn't be ideal. Giga Impact. Okay, do we take it? We do. They should proc a Berry. Should proc a Berry. Okay, which is good. So we'll take a Dazzling Gleam for sure. And a Moonblast coming out. Okay. And we've got the Arcanine to come back in now. But we know the Stoutland can't move this next turn, so we can quite happily just double into this Arcanine. We can go for the Tech Rage and go for Muddy Water. Either one. Like, Arcanine's not got a strong enough spread attack to take both targets down. Need to make sure I'm locking in the right. So yeah, Earthquake into the Arcanine and go for the Muddy Water. So let's see. Like, I don't think Arcanine, unless it's got close combat, and I don't think it wants to lock into close combat here. Oh, it does. Okay. Still not even enough to take down Crocodile though. Krook too strong. Stoutland must recharge, and Crocodile is going to get this Tectonic Rage off. And that's a pretty speedy Stoutland as well. So we will get the Tech Rage into the Arcanine, pick up the KO. And we've just got, well, we've got 3 Pokemon on 1 now. Muddy Water, let's see what this is like. With it being so fast, I wonder if it's quite frail. It does take it. We get an accuracy drop as well. My point, that's why it's so fast, the Tailwind's still up. So ignore me. Because I always imagine that Crocodile should be outspeeding it here. I think what I'm going to do is just Bulldoze. And I'm just going to protect Finny this turn. So we actually outspeed it with our Crocodile anyway. Which is fine. Oh wow, we just nearly, just about to get the KO there anyway with it. But the critical hit, Giga Impact into the Finny again. And now we've pretty much definitely locked this up. So we'll just crunch and go for a Moonblast. And that should be game. So, very good game to my opponent. Kind of quirky seeing like the Scarfed Arcanine. I do like it as an option. It does totally throw you off. I think if it was my opponent in that position, I'd want to have it a little bit more offensive to maybe guarantee. I don't know if you can guarantee the KO on Coco with the Flare Blitz. But you've always got options and things to play, like Helping Hand next to it. That could be an option. Or something just like, you know, like, I don't know, Pheromosa could be an option, I guess. To make use of it. But it's kind of a cool idea. It's kind of a cool option as well. It's kind of nice to see. Kind of. But I do mean that. I do like the option of it in that team. It seems really cool. But that's going to be it, guys. So I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. It's been a lot of fun. We've had a couple of really good results again. So the team doing really well, rocking its kind of thing. So hopefully we can kind of continue this going into Friday's episode and round off the week with it. And we'll quickly cover over everything that happens in this week with an episode analyzer on Friday. And we'll see what we kind of make of it by the end of it. But I really like the team. As always, do leave your comments and thoughts on what you thought of today's battles, what you think of the team, and like always, if you've got any suggestions with where you maybe would tweak things slightly on anything I've kind of mentioned, or just some of your own thoughts, I'd love to hear your thoughts and suggestions regarding that. But as always, if you've enjoyed the episode, please drop a like down below. It does massively help the channel out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, so you stay up to date with all of our daily content we've got coming out. We've got our School of Hard Knocks Best of 3 Battler and our Battle Spot Doubles coming up later on this evening. We're going to have the stream tomorrow night at 8 PM UK time, which is Greenwich Mean Time. Discount the +1 because it's just straight Greenwich Mean Time tomorrow evening. So over on our Twitch channel, the link will be dropped in the description below, and you can get to the Twitch channel by clicking on the little Twitch icon in the header, the banner on the main channel. So if you're free tomorrow night and you would like to come over and give me a game on anything from VGC 13 right the way through to Battle Spot Doubles, I guess, which is potentially as close to what we've got for 18 as possible, then do drop by tomorrow evening and we will have some battles, and it'll be just a little bit of fun hanging out like it always is. So going to wrap things up there, guys. I will see you on Friday for another episode of School of Hard Knocks. We've got our best of 3 battle coming up later on, as well as our Battle Spot Doubles series this week. So do stay tuned for those. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in. You guys are amazing, and I will see you all later. So have a great morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of day it is. Make sure you're taking care of yourselves. And I will see you all again very soon. So until then, guys, take care of yourselves. Bye bye.